Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. It's time to maybe be successful at something. I need an ego boost. Things got weird there at the end there, and I think we should be successful at this. Now, I'm not going to upgrade our gear, because I don't... Well, do we have the money? We could sell some stuff. My thinking is I'm a little bit nervous about the money. And that usually it's not required for greens. But also, if we know we're planning to upgrade these characters anyway... Right? That makes sense. Hold on. Did I equip us with anything? No, I didn't give us any trinkets or anything either. So what is the party? It's these guys? This is a weird party. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go back. This video is off to a roaring start. So, gear has a little bit more impact than the skill upgrades. At least defensive gear definitely has a pretty big impact. Can we afford both? Because, like, theoretically we could sell... We probably don't need 2 bleed amulets, right? We probably don't need 1, honestly. What else do I not particularly like? I don't think this is great. Given, first of all, how uncommonly we get to use his healing skill, and secondly... how powerful it already is. Like, it usually does the job already. This is the other thing. This is honestly a little bit... I'm a little more likely to use this. But we could sell either of those. We almost certainly don't need 2 of these. There's another thing that we may not even need 1 of. Despite the fact that it's very good. Just like, when was the last time we actually had a Crusader in a mission? Yeah, so we could probably sell, like, I could make a little bit more money. What does it cost to upgrade weapons at these very early tiers? And we cannot reduce it any further. Well, we could probably do some conversion, but actually we need to hold on to some of our stuff. Yeah, we could afford to do this stuff, at least. Increasing his damage is a little bit less exciting than it is with a lot of classes, because so much of the Jester's damage ends up coming out in the bleeds. But I guess that's actually an artifact of the way I'm playing him. And he could be frontline and we could just open every fight with a finale. I think that's the thing that people do that makes them like the Jester, right? Is that, like, finale is super good. You know what, let's... This is cheap enough that we can afford to do it. Let's go ahead and... What do I actually have equipped on you? He has Defender. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll go ahead and buff people up. Well, I can see why that's not equipped. I'm sure there's a good use case for it. So he doesn't even have Finale. Alright. At the risk of running low on money, let's take this party in prepared. If I'm like concerned about losing people, I need to actually buff people up. So you should pick this up. So, hold on. How did I have this party built? Oh, that's right. Finale is really awkward with this party because we have 2 people who need to be in the front 2 rows. Okay. Well, if I'm going to try to actually play with a Jester, which I am, I know I've said a lot of bad things about the Jester, but I'm going to give him a real shot. We were going to have to do this at some point anyway. I don't feel too bad about having done it now, except that we're going to have to sell a thing or 2 to make sure that we have... to make sure that we have the money to outfit. So he's the backline occultist this mission, which means sacrificial stab will not work. So how about we could give him Demon's Pull or Weakening Curse. Weakening Curse does not do very much damage, while also not really doing anything else that should be valuable in a green dungeon. So we'll have him use Demon's Pull instead. So let's upgrade that. Okay, so yeah, we basically out of money, but we have stuff we can sell. Let's get out there. And then we're about to get the Caregivers Convention, which I like a lot. You're not wasting... This is a medium. I'll bring 2 blood, why not? There are people in the comments... Oh, I was like, why didn't I buy a whole stack? Because you forgot to... I'm never going to use this, probably. Well, with the Flagellant, though... What is the best thing to sell? I don't have a lot of respect for these, like, plus HP minus other stuff trinkets, obviously. It's not the kind of thing I usually roll with. And to be perfectly honest, -2 speed is often going to be so bad for your survivability that it might offset the 15% extra HP. How much money are we actually going to need? A stack of food is not that expensive, really. We'll sell like 1 or 2 more things. We probably don't need 2 health stones. I'm unlikely to use 2. I'm unlikely to use 1, frankly. I'm never going to use move stone. I don't think protection stone's any good. Not really into blight charms. If we're going to use a blight thing, we'll use this one, right? Okay, that's more than enough money. Let's buy a stack of torches and a couple of keys. We're going to the Weald, so that looks pretty good. A couple of anti-venoms, because there's a lot of anti-venom curios. And we do kind of want to walk out of here with a lot of treasure, you know, if we can pull that off. Alright, is everybody pretty set? Okay, let's do it. In theory, this should be pretty easy. However, underestimating stuff, overconfidence, turns out slow and insidious killer. A very wise person told me that once, and I disbelieved him, and then all my characters died. So it's probably for the best that we over-prepare rather than under-prepare. It's just that you can only afford to over-prepare so many times.
Our land is remote and unneighbored.
Oh, that's right.
Resource must be recovered.
We're not actually going to... Oh dear. We're not actually going to be able to bring home that much loot because we have to bring home 3 slots of medicine, so that sucks. We can't do this. Right? I'm like, financially speaking, I'm hanging on by a thread here. This is far too risky a thing. I really, really want to put the torch in here and let's just rumble. I wish that we would find these at the end of the dungeon. Right, because at this point, fighting the terrifying boss would yield us some pretty great loot if we won. I don't know that this party's necessarily outfitted for it. But it would also put us potentially in a condition where it might be hard for us to finish the mission. And we can't afford to fail. We need that. We need that sweet, sweet quest reward gold. Hey, don't lower the light level. What's wrong with you? We're just going to stack up a whole lot of bleeds on her. This is apparently the bleeding party. So she's taking... She's actually... Oh no, she's going to survive. Well... I'll hit her with this this retribution thing, right? Whenever somebody... It's really good to have a move in the party that is sort of low damage but does something else that's really cool. Because you get into this situation a lot, right? Alright, so... Now the punishment begins. You're into this situation a lot where you just barely don't kill somebody. And it can be nice to have a way of killing them without wasting the turn of the person who killed them. He could hit this guy, but he'd have to lunge. I should have attacked... I should have laid into the second guy. Because we have targeting restrictions. I wasn't thinking about it. Foolish. Alright, well, let's put a bleed on this dude, because he still has yet to take his turn. Never mind, we will not do that.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
If I hit him with Retribution to keep the riposte up, there's a pretty good chance it would kill him. Do I want to go for pretty good chance? 2 of the numbers in the 3-number damage range kill him. It's pretty likely. Okay. Then we get to keep this up, which may give us some free damage, depending on how this next turn goes. Alright, you literally cannot hit him. I guess that's not true. We can do this. It will do 1 damage, I'm assuming. Yes, we may as well throw it again. I don't know, man. This party's damage potential is maybe not exactly what I'm used to.
Executed with impunity.
Okay, he heard that. He's got feelings about it. That's good. Use the anger.
But a victory nonetheless.
Let it flow through you. I didn't bring any trinkets. Over-preparing versus under-preparing and everything. But I often don't bring trinkets on greens that aren't boss fights because I'm nervous about characters dying and losing my stuff.
A victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed with misintent.
Losing a character is bad. But there are some trinkets where I almost would rather lose a character than that trinket, you know? Almost. Okay, that is a good scout. So where are we going to start finding these medicines? Because we kind of want to leave them to the end, right? So here's one, here's two. Alright, so we'll get to the fork and we'll go left. Well, we'll go up and then we'll go left. And we'll come back. Because I bet you it's going to be 1, 2, and like 3. It's just how these things go. Dude is craving. He's going to do stuff I don't like, whether he's craving or whether he's lusted. So let's just do this. He has a special relationship with blood. I'm not sure if there are, like, unique interactions between the flagellant and the bloodlust state, or... Because it seems like there could be, right? Oh, that's not the... Oh, this is not the right... The anti-venom is for the trees. This is something else. Can we burn the... Is that a good idea? We're kind of... maybe should have brought more torches. Just reach in there and see what's what. We have skipped those in the past, but man, we cannot afford to skip stuff right now. We gotta get paid.
To be spent.
So we're probably looking to camp maybe a little bit earlier than we often would camp on a long or on a medium, just so that we can reclaim inventory space, right? I'm going to... That's a room battle over there. Now let's keep the light going for now. Trying to figure out where I want to let the light fall to 0 and then refresh it with the campfire. Probably over here somewhere. Wow, really? You guys. This will do 4 to 6 and probably inflict a 3-point bleed. So this might be lethal if the bleed sticks. Okay, good stuff. Good job. And then... Like... These guys already don't have any dodge. There's so little that a fully backline occultist can do to people in the front rows. Not great luck. Although the fact that they're both focusing on him, never mind. I was about to say the fact they're both focusing.
Unforgiving.
Is good in the sense that it doesn't, at least it means the damage is focused in one place, easier to heal. But now it's kind of a lot of damage. Or it's not that much. It doesn't seem like that much now. Something about it just feels manageable now, you know?
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Alright. The man-at-arms actually hits pretty hard. When he connects, you know, you'll feel it. It's just, we're having a hell of a time getting him to connect.
Precision and power.
Okay. 2 more points of damage on him will prevent him from getting his turn. Good enough. So we'll start bleeding this guy. His bleed resist is very low. Okay. And we haven't made use of the stress reduction that the Jester brings to the table, but we haven't really had to yet. Do I want to stun this guy, or would I rather have the dog not attack next turn? No, let's land it here. These guys can crit pretty hard. Land that bleed. Alright. So we may be able to take advantage of the fact that our man-at-arms is marked if we can get his retribution off before this guy's turn. Or it may end up being irrelevant. So 3 damage we need, which we will not will not get. Well, so there's not really anything of value that the occultist can do this turn. This is rough. Once the back rows are dealt with.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
He has 65% stun resist. He's gonna bleed for 6 damage. Actually, we just kill him. Yeah.
Continue
Screw that
the
noise.
onslaught. Destroy them all.
Right, we don't have any bandages, right? Yeah. He's just gonna have to suffer that bleed. It's alright, he'll be fine. Can he de-stress himself? You got him, great job. Actually, that did kill him.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Glittering gold, trinkets
Alright,
and
free
baubles,
trinket, or free torch, rather.
paid for in blood.
It's exciting. Alright, let's let the torchlight tick down as we approach this main. Like, we'll use one more torch during this hallway, because I don't want to get in this fight at a super low light level. Well, maybe maybe it's okay. Really, we finally get to the right kind of tree, and you have to ruin everything. Yeah, maybe I just do this fight in the dark. Yeah, probably. Probably. Depending on whether or not we get a scout, I may even push on to the next room before camping. Okay, so he's dead already. Not a bad start. These are my favorite kind of battles, the ones where we get to end it without ever being attacked by the enemy. It's very difficult for bad things to happen when the other team doesn't get any turns.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
I haven't really looked into the Jester's new mechanics.
Triumphant pride precipitates a
The length of this
dizzying
buff,
fall.
the length of this buff was 7 turns. So what are you supposed to do? Like, solo buffs it as well. Battle ballads, anything where you're playing music buffs it. But solo buffs it the most. And the idea is that the +5 speed is supposed to help you cast it first on the next turn. I don't know. I don't know what the best way to use that is. Alright, map of the area is good. Or the map had absolutely no new information on it. Okay. Well, that's handy. I'm just going to push on to the next room. We'll camp here.
Darkness closes in, haunting the hearts of men.
Plus loot, you guys. Not afraid of your stinky whatever that was. Some kind of smoke vents. Oh wow, and we got a scout even. Okay, let's go grab this curio. Okay, that's fair. It's slightly probably less stress to go into the room and turn around, even though it means we have to take a couple extra steps, so there's some chance for another random stress event. And we will pop into this hallway and grab this curio. Plus loot, you guys. Okay, and now we'll camp. We're just gonna eat a little bit of food, I guess.
An uneasy companionship.
We don't really have to do anything fancy. Alright, so you can remove diseases, but not the Crimson Curse, I would assume. We just buff up. We didn't actually bring an ambush prevention thing, so that's a shame, but we can give everybody minus 15% stress. We can buff somebody's damage way up. Should probably do that. And then this gives us all plus damage. Yeah, we'll just buff up a lot. So let's start with the Dark Strength. I think I'm going to buff the damage of the Man-at-Arms, because these two are both doing a lot of their damage through bleeds. which will not be affected by a buff. Okay, and now I'm going to use... Every rose has its thorn. Just like every jester plays that same dumb song. And then we have 7 points left, so we can like plus damage everybody. And what else will we do? We can plus damage everybody and like pep talk you. That seems fine. So we are in spectacular shape here. Let all foulness be purged. It wasn't. We had one time unit left. I figured it was worth a try. Plenty of blood left to drink this day.
The match is
Alright, and no ambush.
A blazing star is born.
Well, that couldn't have gone much smoother. I have hope that we will be able to finish this without anything really horrific going wrong. Yeah, I mean, everything keeps coming up us. Do I just want to hit this guy? Like, we could probably guarantee a kill. We should probably start it on him, though. So I'm just going to hit him rather than throwing the stun. Because the stun also has a knockback, and I don't want to swap him into position where he can avoid some of the artillery. We want the Abyssal Artillery to hit these two. We just go for Slice Off, probably. Now we only have to hit him for 3 to kill him. Okay, that's not bad. It's not a bad start. Sucker. Apparently he's just unhittable. I think we can go ahead and stun now. Or we cannot. That was very likely to work. Well, you know, the luck happens. It is a shame to have to hit this guy again. Oh, if that had done 1 damage, I would have felt maybe comfortable just letting him have 1 more turn and bleed out. But now, he'll survive 2 more rounds of bleeding. So now let's just make sure he dies. I only needed the mark to do 1.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Yeah, sir, just crit him. He likes that, man. You're not gonna upset him. Well, that could have gone better.
Eradicated.
Okay, nicely done.
Destroyed. This expedition at least promises success.
And no scouts, so we do have to walk all the way down to the end to see whether or not... Oh, there's one. I told you there would be one down here. I know how this game rolls.
Hacks laden with loot are often low on supplies.
But the later you pick up medicines, the more loot you get to walk out with. Because remember, one of the reasons that the loot is a problem in the first place is that you still have a lot of supplies in the early part of the run. Now that we've used our campfire, we've used a bunch of other stuff, it's a lot better. Alright, I'm not super happy to see these guys, but I think we should have this under control. So we have to hit him for 3. May as well start you bleeding too if we can. Alright, good stuff. And there's a pretty good chance that we just get a kill outright, but maybe I don't want to take the chance. I guess the danger here is that stunning him still means he'll get a turn, probably, as 10 speed. Yeah, nobody in the party is likely to go before he is. Maybe we just roll the dice on the kill. Yeah.
Decimated.
That was like a coin flip. Those are odds I've taken over and over and over again. Oof. It's a lot of stress. That's okay. We'll have the Jester play the lute for him? Is that what our jester has, a lute? Listen, ask me anything about different kinds of medieval guitars.
Impressive.
I don't think that should be a problem. That shouldn't really change anything. We almost want him to get under half health. Oh, I was really hoping our man-at-arms is going to be able to finish this. Alright, blood.
Remind yourself that
Blood is still
overconfidence
valuable.
is a slow and insidious killer.
We are not yet at the point where we can even consider not taking some blood. I see people in the comments section saying stuff like, I'm just throwing away stacks of blood left and right. I'm really surprised at how much variance they allow in the blood supply. I mean, our supplies are climbing now. I think we usually end up making more than we lose due to the vintners. But I'm like really surprised that they allow so much variance, because it seems like you could very easily kill some characters. Or maybe I'm just like at the extreme lower end. Maybe it's built such that if you have really bad luck, but you build the vintners, you'll generally be fine. Man, I'm glad we used as little food as we did up to now, because these hunger events really suck. Okay, so we have to get through this without having 2 more hunger events. I think we should be fine. Let's take that. Oh, well, I was about to try to figure out whether I thought it would be a good idea to use the key on that, but apparently we are not going to be having that conversation. Oh, hey, it's the Madman. So, one thing that has not really come up is that the Madman has special loot. At least, this used to be the case. I imagine it still is. But there used to be things that only the Madman could drop. And I would really like to see some of those things, because they're very powerful. Jesus. I cannot hit this damn dog. Alright, in this case, I think we want to use Harvest. We don't have to do very much damage to this guy for him to be dead. So we may as well start stacking it up on that one, too.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
Did he say the new SimCity was just okay? It doesn't seem like madness. I think that's a pretty common opinion. Finally! Finally we get some riposte. Let's go ahead and... Aw. 2 chances for a crit heal there. I was really hoping we would find one. So you need to get hit for 4 more damage. Well, honestly, never mind. I was gonna say this'll do it. Hey look, we finally hit him. Okay. I think it probably on our man-at-arms' turn. Probably behooves us to just shut this dude up rather than killing one of the dogs. He dodged the riposte? Man. This fight actually went really not that well. Really not that well. This was a rough one.
Annihilated.
But, you know, rough by a certain standard. Like, it's not really
These
that big a deal.
nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay, so this is the other quest item? Cool. So, let's drop the holy water. Somebody should drink the holy water, but not the vampire. I don't know, you. Huh, that item had no effect. Does right-clicking on an item use it on the thing you have open? Is that a new change? Alright, hold on, you. We're not done here yet. We're going all the way to the end. Do I still have a torch? I don't. If I find a torch, I may go back to this and try the thing. Like, this party's doing okay.
Finding stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried
how much?
home.
Jesus. Horror is like a small amount of stress gain every turn for the next 100 million turns. They are devoted. She needs to be finished. Let's have no more of that. We should probably make sure that the murder happens before we go de-stressing anybody, because I don't want to open myself up to additional attacks that might end up being crits and, you know, making things difficult. Alright, so he's got 7 points of bleed on him now. We'll do this. I'm gonna invite a potentially pretty hard hit here in exchange for getting some of that sweet, sweet riposte damage.
Beyond one's limits.
Herbert is devoted to only landing heals at the extreme edges of the range. He's gonna do absolutely nothing, or he's gonna max it out. This is maybe a little scummy, but we're gonna try to buy some de-stress time here. I don't want to have to pay for any de-stressing. Okay, he's already dead. Don't. Okay. That's fine. I was worried that he was gonna auto-attack and ruin everything. Okay, we got there. We got there. And now maybe we can land a crit. Okay. Which thing do I want to discard?
And driven into the mud.
It's honestly not that likely that we'll get any value out of these medicinal herbs. I should maybe have blooded him. We'll blood him on his first turn, but I should have done it before. Okay, annoying. This would be a really good time for him to have finale, though. Unfortunately, there's no point in moving him forward. Oh no, he can move forward a bunch. Okay, this'll work. Because the stun that the Man-at-Arms has actually moves him forward a step. So that'll be enough to fix our order well enough to keep fighting. You are... Actually, he can fight okay from here. I'm gonna do this. Again, kind of provoking maybe some dangerous hits, but... I also really like hitting people with the riposte. Okay.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
She's been very annoying so far. Man, they really don't want to hit him. I guess he was in the 3rd rank while he was marked, and now that he's up here, the riposte effect lasts for 2 turns, but the mark that he puts on himself only lasts for 1. So we probably just do a redeem, right? Like, I'll just redeem here, and we'll see if we can maybe get a crit heal out of it somewhere. Nah. That's fine. Minus 30% damage could be a lot more relevant, considering how much of his damage comes from his bleeds.
Devastating blow.
Pretty good. Now, as long as we don't, as long as we don't take an unfortunate crit here, we should end up basically better than we came in. Because we're definitely past the danger phase of this fight.
Well struck.
Alright, so he's going to bleed down to 4. We just have to tap it. I'm actually not going to throw a heal, because there's not that much chance of it helping, and it might bleed somebody, which would be annoying. Okay, fight over.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Aha, we do still have our anti-venom. Wait, this isn't the anti-venom thing. I've already forgotten. Well, we at least get this out of it. It's a shame we did not end up finding... Do I know which of these are more valuable? I don't. It's probably not the food, right? Food's pretty low value. Value 5 gold each, 20 gold each. Okay, it is on the thing. So this is 30 value of food, 40 of keys, and 50. Yeah, we'll drop it to food, take this, and get out of here. It's a shame we didn't have a torch left at the end, because we could have gone back for the boss.
Of epidemic at our struggling hamlet.
And I think it actually would have gone okay. I think we might have had a chance there. I would really like some of his loot. He drops some really good stuff. But we're seeing the altars very, very infrequently. He is calm, but also robust. Calm's not great. I don't like calm a lot. It's less of a problem on a character like this, who's very often going to be using his first turn to stun. That probably doesn't affect him. He has a couple of skills that might be ranged. Okay. A lot of people in the party who will only drink. A lot of people in the sort of the hamlet as a whole.
Of rare and
This is great.
exotic injuries makes this place perfect for the study of suffering.
Okay, Fairfax has finally gotten laid enough. It took 2 entire weeks, but she has finally laid enough. So, we're going to open up another slot in the treatment ward. I think we definitely trade some stuff for this, because this is really valuable. Alright, does anybody have a disease that really needs to get pulled off? We have a couple of bad diseases, don't we? Somebody, or actually I think I've dealt with a bunch of them, though. Tetanus. Tetanus needs to go. Campion's still drinking? You huge asshole. Yeah, he's just on a total bender. They'll give you drinks in the... They're not going to let him take alcohol in the ward. Okay, we have about 1 million people. Crimson Curse replaced ennui, that's fine. Yeah, we have 1 million people with the Crimson Curse, not so much with anything else, really. You suck. You suck a lot, Campion. Alright, well, let's do this. So I need 2 heirlooms. I mean, I know that it's not a good idea to keep losing crests, but we need the other things more, I think. You find a lot of crests.
Experimental techniques and tonics can overcome things a sharpened sword cannot.
So now, the question is, who is getting fixed up? So he has... Fangophobia I don't love. Compulsive. Compulsive should go. But let's see who of our higher level people needs help more. Tuckered out is not great. Slow reflexes is not great. The thing where people... The traits that make people interact with stuff in the field will cost you some money over the life of the character. So they're things you should remove if you can remove them for free. A lot of them, I think, probably will not end up costing you enough money to pay a lot to remove. But we'll remove one of those if we don't find enough exciting stuff. Dud Hitter could probably go. I'm seeing if anybody has one that's like a huge, absolutely must-go kind of thing. It's not so bad for you. Fragile sucks. It's not the end of the world. We should do Cavalier, because he both has a thing that we want to remove and some stuff we want to lock in. So we're getting rid of Lazy Eye. That would be a bad one to lock in for a guy who mostly fights with a gun. And then Eldritch Hater is strong. Man, he just has so many good fighting traits. Let's lock in Eldritch Hater. And what else? Slow Draw's not great. Clutch Hitter's not bad. Clutch Hitter would be okay to lock in. Okay, so if we were going to take off, say, Herbert's compulsiveness, we can lock in Clutch Hitter. Compulsive is, of the traits that make you do stuff, I think Compulsive is the most annoying because it triggers on anything, it seems like, and that can be really frustrating. So yeah, Herbert gets the other cell. We'll pull Compulsive and lock in Clutch Hitter, I guess. That's fine. It's good enough. Okay, I like Caregiver's Convention very, very much. Okay. It was pretty unlikely that there was going to be anything there. Alright, let's have a quick look at our loot. This is a pretty good trinket. Plus 10 accuracy, range skills, plus a little something else. It's not bad. Holy Order's pretty good, as we discussed before. Just seeing if anything like really exciting pops up. We don't really need another Book of Sanity. Book of Sanity's good. We just don't need that many of them. Delayed Curse Craving. That does not seem worth a trinket slot. Well, I think our Baron team is back and ready to rock, right? Yeah, Fairfax. Fairfax is finally sated. I don't know how they did it, but they got there. So, we could... Right, some version of this is what we've been doing. Bringing Bellacoat instead allows us to have, instead of the Arbalist, it gives us access to an extra very reliable stun. And the dog treat thing is nice. When we, there's some chance we will fight a boss. So we could do this instead. I like having the second heal. It's a little bit less necessary with a Vestal because the Vestal can heal more than one person in a round. But also, if you only have one healer, a bad stun can really ruin your day. That said, I think I am going to go this way for the increased violence potential. And we're just going to bring a full stack of blood with us and hope that we also find a whole lot. So... Oh, I do want to talk about this. Somebody reminded me that Grave Robbers have 2 melee skills. And that does make this a little bit more compelling. We might roll with this. We have a Grave Robber, right? No, we don't. Oh, I think she died. I think we had one and she died. Or maybe we had one and I fired her. We should get one, though. They're cool. It's a cool class. But at some point, maybe I want to buy extra roster space. Or I might be over-devoting on healers. Alright. Oh, the other thing we should do real quick, not that we really have the money to take advantage of it, but how close are we on more upgrades? Okay, we're behind on crests for the guild. And at the blacksmith, we actually still need a lot of deeds. Okay. Deeds and crests are now our most important heirlooms. For the future. For the foreseeable future. So let's get ready. I like this a lot when the torch is guaranteed to be above 75. And then we can pair her with the Sun Ring and she still ends up being down 15% stress, but also she's awesome. 15% accuracy with his range skills. He's actually in a position where he does get to throw the dog. Heals more stress while camping, which doesn't come into play here. Do I want 15 accuracy on dog throw? That's not bad. He's going to be blackjacking at least some of the time, but both of the dog attacks are ranged. I guess the benefit of the party that has the Arbalist in it also is that we get to do a lot of stuff with marks then. Let's give you the Gunslinger's Buckle. So who gets Dismas's head? And who gets the Legendary Bracer? We probably don't want to tank out the speed of the guy who has the stun that we might be relying on. I know we've had him be the speed guy in the past, but... Oh, his speed is actually only 7. Well, still. I don't know that this is worth it. We might want to take the Bloodthirst Ring, just that we don't have any food problems, although we also have been doing pretty well on that anyway. We'll give you the Stress Book, and... yeah, alright, we'll do this thing. I don't love this as a combination of things, but if she's going to be the only healer, it makes some sense. And then do we want to offset stress on him as well? Minus stress is pretty good. Food has not really been our problem. Our problem for the last couple of times going in has just been that we run out of ability to keep going into fights. And while food does give you health, it's not enough to necessarily put your party back into fighting shape. So we give him 4 dodge and 1 speed, or minus 20% stress. I mean, when I say it out loud, it sounds silly. This is probably the way to go. Okay. I think we're ready. Everybody's got the skills and everything. There's nothing cheated about that. Upgrading Guard Dog only gives you a very small amount of extra dodge, so something we don't even use that much. Alright. I do believe that's going to be it. Thank God for Caregivers Convention. I really, really like that they made those things intentionally triggerable. So that's going to be it for today. Come back next time. We're headed into the courtyard once again. Maybe, to finally get it done. I will see you then.